your voice keep calling. Just keep walking through the doubt, the hurt, the fear. Know that you, my God, are here beside me. You always find me in the middle of this disaster. It's my heart that you are after.
Hey, my name's Jeannie. I'm a junior here at Briarwood, and I had an interesting time in 9th grade where I went through various trials, and because of that I've experienced the love of God and His never-ending grace, and I've really enjoyed getting to share my story with y'all.
Hey, my name's Morgan, and I graduated from Briarwood in the year 2011. After graduating from high school, I went through a time of a lot of brokenness and in many ways depression. But God was so faithful throughout that process, and I want to share with you my story of how God was so faithful.
All the days I can't go back, those days are over. I'm forever changed. You're making me so bright. You know I'm gonna come out gold.
Okay, so pardon me, I have to reference my phone for my notes because we are the millennials and we all use our phones constantly, right? We all have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, which you're all going to follow me on later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So I'm excited to share with you guys kind of my testimony and my story about going through disordered eating behaviors and experiencing severe negative body image. But first, I think there's some really important things that you all need to know about me first. So I live a very blessed life. I have gone to college for free. Through the Miss America organization, I've earned over $80,000 in scholarship money. So I got my undergrad degree at Auburn, and I never paid them a dime. I'll get my master's degree for free. And hopefully, I'm hoping to make it through most of the way through my PhD without ever having to pay a dime for my education. But let me back up and tell you why that's so incredibly important to me. My mom, her name is Lisa. She is my best friend, and she is a single mom. For the past 23 years, she's raised me all by herself. I'm an only child, and so as you can imagine, we fight like sisters, but we also have slumber parties like sisters. But at the end of the day, she's my mom, and sometimes those lines get very blurred. But she's my best friend nonetheless. I make friends really easily. I talk to a brick wall if no one will talk back to me. I'm very outgoing. I like to joke around. I am pretty self-deprecating. I live a pretty fun life, all right? But let's back up a little bit. When I was 4 years old, I remember watching TV, and it was when Heather, do you guys know who Heather Whitestone is? Yeah, she was the second Miss Alabama to become Miss America, but she was the first deaf Miss America. And she's from Dothan, Alabama, which is right outside of my hometown of Ozark. And I remember pointing at the TV when I was 4 years old and looking at my mom and saying, I want to do that. I want to be just like Heather Whitestone. I want to dance like her, and I want to be Miss America. So that is literally where the foundation of the past 20 some odd years of my life began. After that, I started competing in pageants. And I started taking dance classes. Where are my dancers in the room? Don't be ashamed. Okay, we rock. Sydney, your hand should be like way in the air right now. Yes, I'll call you out. Okay. So I started dancing when I was 4 years old. Remember, I'm gonna become Heather Whitestone. I'm gonna put on the pointe shoes and do the beautiful ballet on the Miss America stage, right? Really cool, I actually got to do that. But nonetheless, I began dancing. And as a dancer, your body is your instrument. Your body is your tool. Yeah? That is what you use to evoke emotion in people. That is what you use to perfect or perform the perfect line or develop the perfect kick, okay? This is all you have. So I loved to dance. And when I was a little girl, it was my dream to become a prima ballerina with the New York City Ballet. I practiced every day. I was so excited. And then I hit puberty. It's a bummer. Puberty is so much fun, right? Psych. I remember being in the 5th grade, and I was in the cafeteria line at school, and I know you guys remember this. Remember when you were like in middle school and you and your girlfriends like named your little clique? Yeah? You laughed, but you did it. You were like we were the Fab Five. You know, and we'd pull one of our girlfriends in and be like, oh, we're the 6 chicks today. And then we'd get mad at her and kick her out. And we're like, oh, we're the Fab Five again. You thought it was cute in middle school, but newsflash, it's not. Okay? Well, anyway, in the 5th grade, I was a part of the Fab Five. Thought I was really cute. And me and the Fab Five were in line for lunch. And I had just turned probably like 11, and so my body was beginning to change with puberty, and some of my clothes that once fit really nicely were becoming tighter in different areas. And this little boy came up to me. His name is Dylan. He still lives in Ozark. I don't know why I get like this personal satisfaction out of that. But he came up to me and he said, Meg, is it the Fab Five or the Fat One? And I was like, of course, mind you, this is one of those boys that was like a foot shorter than all of the girls. Like he probably is just now going through puberty. Okay? Like he was T90 and I was super tall. I was a foot taller than every other girl in my class. I hit puberty at a pretty young age compared to the rest of the girls in my grade. But he called me the Fat One. Should have backhanded it. But instead, I took my styrofoam lunch plate and I sat it back down on the pile of trays. And I went and sat down at our lunch table, and I didn't eat lunch that day. And that was the first day I didn't eat lunch. And that day, and that comment that Dylan made about me being fat led to an 8-year struggle with negative body image and with disordered eating behaviors. When I was 15 years old, I was taking diet pills and starving myself, trying to look a certain way, trying to be that prima ballerina, trying to have that body that I was just never gonna have again. This is another funny story. When I was going through puberty, I had heard that corn made your breasts bigger. And you guys, when I tell you that I did not want to develop those lovely lady parts, I didn't eat corn for 6 years. It's hysterical now, but I was like terrified of corn at the time. The girls in the lunch line would be like pouring the corn on, and I was like, get it away from me. I don't want the corn. I don't even want to look at it. Anything yellow, I was not a fan of. I was not eating it. Well, the Lord has a great sense of humor because my cup overfloweth, pun intended. I'm curvy, and that's okay. But when I was 11 and 12 and 13 years old, that was not okay. And Dylan reminded me of that every day. So this really should come as absolutely no surprise. Raise your hand if you've ever thought that you were fat, ever said that you were fat. Okay, thank you. Hey, guess what? Newsflash, you're not alone. We've all done it. Yeah? But we don't go out to dinner with our girlfriends and be like, hey, did you look at yourself today in the mirror and think you were fat? Yeah, me too, girl. Got you back. No, we don't do that. We talk about boys and about, I don't know what we talk about, new hair products, whatever. But we should be talking about the reasons that we're beautiful. And that's not something that is about your reflection in the mirror. We all know somebody who is absolutely beautiful by society standards, that we actually know to not be a beautiful person. Yeah? Okay. So, what does the Bible say about body image? Well, first of all, let me tell you some statistics. 54% of women in a recent study done by the Radiance Body Image Program said that they would rather be, get this, hit by a truck than be fat. All right. 80% of 10-year-olds have dieted. How? Mind-blowing, right? 20 million women in the United States currently battle an eating disorder. 20 million. And 91% of college-age women have tried to control their weight through over-exercising and dieting. And I can personally testify to that one because I just graduated from Auburn last year. And when I tell you that it's something that is insane how obsessive college-age women are about their weight and about the way they look. And now with Instagram, we all want to live these Instagram-worthy lives, right? We all want to follow the latest, hippest, hottest celebrities and just ooh and ah over their Coachella pics. I did it. Yeah. Whatever. It's my favorite hobby. Okay, so here's what the Bible says about our body image. In Psalm 139:14, yeah, go ahead and laugh at me, it's fine. It says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I know full well. Guess what? You're his works. He made you. Yeah? Fearfully and wonderfully. Wonderful are his works. You're wonderful. Okay? 1 Peter 3:3-4 say, do not let your adorning be external, the braiding of hair and the putting on of gold jewelry or the clothing you wear, but let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious. Now, I'm not exactly gentle or quiet, but I'm working on it. Yeah? That was a joke. You're supposed to laugh. I'm very loud, but you get what I mean. In 1 Samuel 16:7, but the Lord said to Samuel, do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. The biggest part of competing in the Miss America organization at any level of competition is about your inner view. Those judges want to see your heart. They want to see what you do in your community. They want to see who you are. Are you someone that they could see themselves hanging out with every day? When I think of a Miss America, I think of someone that I would want to be my best friend. My best friends are funny, they're God-fearing, they are loving, they are accepting, and they are kind. That's what they look for. All the onstage competition, I really think it's a formality to be sure that you can walk in a pair of heels. I don't know. So I wore this quote. I wore a bracelet with this quote when I competed at Miss Alabama, and then again when I competed at Miss America. And it said, man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. Because something that I experience every single day is man telling me I'm not good enough. When you're Miss Alabama, when you're a public figure, you are constantly told you're not pretty enough, you're not thin enough, you're not smart enough. You're just not enough. And that's really hard to take every single day. And you guys experience that every day at school. You experience it every day when you log on to social media, when you look up and down your Facebook and Twitter feeds. Society's constantly telling us as women that we're not enough. Yeah? But guess whose responsibility it is to lift you guys up? Each other's. Okay, I've never done this before, but I'm really curious, and I feel like I can do it with this group. Raise your hand if you think I'm fat. Okay. Raise your hand if you've ever thought to yourself that one of your girlfriends maybe was fat. Okay. So my question is, oh, and this one's good. Raise your hand if you've ever called yourself fat. I asked you guys this earlier, and all of you raised your hand. Okay, exactly. All right. If you won't call me fat, which you might think I am, you're just not going to tell me to my face. That's so nice of you. Thank you. Why would you ever say it about your girlfriends? Why would you ever think about your girlfriends? Why would you ever say or think it about yourself? You guys don't know me. You don't really care about my feelings, yeah? You should be caring about your girlfriend's feelings. And more so than that, you should be caring about your own feelings. You have to learn to love yourself enough to not look at the mirror every morning and say, I am so fat, I hate myself. And I know some of you do. So instead of focusing on this reflection in the mirror, instead of focusing on what we're wearing, what new handbag we're carrying, why don't we focus on our talents and the way that we make other people feel? Let's focus on our community service, the things that we're doing for other people. I want to really quickly, I don't know how much time we have left, but I really quickly want to do this. Find a buddy, really quick. Just the girl seated next to you. Okay, we have a buddy. Okay, I want you guys to compliment your buddy, but you cannot compliment her. You can't compliment her on how white her teeth are, or how pretty her hair is, or how good her makeup looks, or what a cute dress she has on. No, you have to compliment her about something that you admire about her, that she makes you laugh. Compliment her on a characteristic about her, okay?
You're so generous.
Are you good? Okay, raise your hand if your partner complimented you about something and it surprised you. Yes, ma'am. What did your partner compliment? Okay. So raise your hand if you can tell me how this compliment made you feel. Good. Happy butterflies. Who else? Raise your hand if you can tell me how it made you feel. Yes, ma'am. Appreciated. Who else? Anyone? Yes, ma'am. It made you feel what? Self-assured. I love this. It made you feel special, right? It made you feel cared for. Yeah? Okay, so what if I told you there's this amazing occurrence that you could do that every single day? You could make a person feel special and self-assured and appreciated and cared for and confident. You could do that every single day. I challenge you guys to walk into school every day and compliment another person based on their actions, based on their character, not based on the shoes that they have on or their new hand clutch or whatever it's called, not based on any of that. But maybe, I don't know, I was the girl in high school that never had paper or pencils. I was just always unprepared. And all of my friends always shared with me, and I would always tell them how selfless that was and how kind that was. Those things are what make you beautiful. Beauty is not defined by the number on your jeans or the number on a scale. Beauty is defined by the way that you make other people feel. The way that you serve the other people around you, the way that you serve your community. Just to make someone special and make another person feel beautiful, that makes you beautiful. Does that make sense? Okay, so like people have asked me over and over again, your experience at Miss America, were all the girls like catty like they are on Miss Congeniality, and like, did you guys cut each other's dress? No. Literally, all 52 of us are best friends. And you're probably like, that's crazy. Yes, 52. We have DC and Puerto Rico. Okay. I heard 52. What? She can't count. No, I promise I can count. Okay, first of all, when you share the experience of a lifetime with a small group of women, that is an inseparable bond. And I tell you, my biggest fear going into Miss America, because we all know that you've got to do swimsuit competition. Ooh. It's not my favorite part. I think it's antiquated. I don't think that you can tell how physically fit I am by putting me on stage in a swimsuit. I guarantee you I can sprint faster than every other girl on the stage. But can you tell that when I'm in a swimsuit? Okay. So, preparing for the swimsuit competition in Miss America, I ate really well. I ate like 5 times a day. I ate all the time. It was so much fun. And I went to the gym and I developed a really close relationship with my personal trainer. He's like my best friend, the most God-fearing man I know. We prayed nearly every day before my workout. And it felt so good to be living that way. But I'll be the first to tell you that I could not live that way for the rest of my life. I could not go spend 2 hours in the gym every day and eat 5 meals a day. No, I couldn't do that, okay? Because normal people don't do that. We don't have time for that, yeah? I mean, we have time for like 9 hours of Netflix, but not 2 hours in the gym. It's fine. It's fine. So my biggest fear going to Miss America was that all the girls were going to be terrified to eat, and that I would fall back into the habits of my disordered eating behaviors and feeling negatively about my body and comparing myself to the other women. The first night for dinner, they took us to Carmine's in New York City. It's an Italian restaurant. I don't know if you've ever been. And they have this thing called the Titanic dessert. It's so good. It's like flourless chocolate cake with like 8 gallons of ice cream on it and chocolate syrup and bananas. And I mean, it's amazing. And when they brought it out, I was suddenly very nervous that no one was going to eat it. And I was going to sit there and like cry because I couldn't eat it. When I tell you all 52 young ladies grabbed their forks and it was like we were fighting over who was going to get the last bit of the Titanic dessert. Can I tell you guys how great that made me feel? To know that all of us were in this experience together and that we had all worked so hard to get to where we were, but at that point we just wanted to have fun. And fun for us was eating all of that chocolate cake. We're responsible for our own happiness, but we're also responsible for the way that society views women. If we want them to continue to view us and expect us to maintain this unrealistic, thin ideal, then we're going to fall prey to that, and we're going to let them hold us to that standard. But it's our responsibility not to judge another woman based on the way that she looks in her pair of jeans. So I want to tell you guys just one last thing about my mission trip that I took to New York City. It was my senior year of college, and I took it with Campus Crusades at Auburn, and it was an incredibly enlightening and life-changing experience. So my body image and my mindset on that really changed when I got to college. I suddenly got to college and there were all types of body types all around me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not fat. This is amazing. And I suddenly had this newfound confidence in who I was and what I had to bring to the table as a woman, as a leader. And I understood that that had nothing to do with the way that my body looked. And so my senior year of college, though, I did have sort of a breakdown. I have a degree in broadcast journalism and political science. But then I suddenly realized my senior year of college, that's not what I want to do. So remember that $80,000 in scholarship money I had? Yeah, I just wasted like half of it, right? Getting a degree that I want nothing to do with. Melt down. I cried every day. My mom would call me, my mom and I talk on the phone every day, and she would just be like, "What is wrong with you? Why are you crying all the time?" Later on that year, I was diagnosed with depression, and I was started on medication. From the outside looking in, you would have never known. I was Miss Auburn University. I was Miss Phoenix City. I was about to go to Miss Alabama. I had just completed an incredible internship. I held all the leadership positions on campus I ever wanted. I went to the socials, I went to the parties, I had a great time, but I was struggling so hard at home. I went through a period of time where I legitimately could not eat. The thought of food made my anxiety go through the roof. And so I didn't, because it was easier not to. I had a relapse in those disordered eating behaviors. And when I tell you it wasn't until I went on this mission trip that my entire world changed. We don't think about people being needy in the United States. We don't think about doing a mission trip in New York City. We think about going to New York City and shopping and living this extravagant vacation lifestyle. But I went to, have you guys heard of Dr. Tim Keller? Yeah? Okay, so I got to go to Tim Keller's church, Redeemer Presbyterian. I've never in my life had such an incredible experience. And I want to read to you guys what we talked about that day. It's sort of long, so bear with me. So the verse that the entire sermon was based around was Psalm 98, 1-9. Sing to the Lord a new song, for he has done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm have worked salvation for him. The Lord made his salvation known and revealed his righteousness to the nations. He has remembered his love and his faithfulness to Israel. All the ends of the earth have seen the salvation of our God. Shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Burst into jubilant song with music. Make music to the Lord with the harp and the sound of singing, with trumpets and the blast of the ram's horn. Shout for joy before the Lord, the King. Let the sea resound and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. Let the rivers clap their hands. Let the mountains sing together for joy. Let them sing before the Lord, for he comes to judge the earth. He will judge the world in righteousness and people with equity. Okay, notice that it's very long, but notice there are key words in it. He has done marvelous things. His holy arm have worked salvation. The Lord made his salvation known. You guys realize all of this is written in past tense? He's already saved us. He's already forgiven us. He's already done this stuff. So no matter the number of times that we fall, the number of times we relapse, the number of times we make mistakes, he's already forgiven us. And we have to learn to forgive ourselves. And that's what I did on that trip. I learned once again that my plan is not his, and that I have to we all have to literally break in order to allow him to come and save us. And that's what I did that spring break. I broke. I thought, Lord, you are asking me to change my major my senior year of college, and I'm not about that. I don't have time for that. Yes, I do. I went back to school after that mission trip, and I applied for graduate school. I literally applied like the day before the deadline because shambles over here. I took my GRE, which is like the entrance exam to graduate school. Didn't study, made a great score, got into graduate school like a week later, and knew that if I was going to be able to afford graduate school, I needed a graduate assistantship. Well, it's hard for students at Auburn who did their undergrad at Auburn to get a graduate assistantship for a master's at Auburn. Does that make any sense? Yeah. It's just how they work. And you guys, when I tell you I didn't get one interview, I got 7 interviews for graduate assistantships. That was just another sign from the Lord telling me, this is where I'm putting you, this is where you're supposed to be. And there was one graduate assistantship in particular. It was with orientation. So if any of you are going to Camp War Eagle or transfer students go through SOS at Auburn, that was what I wanted. I was a Camp War Eagle counselor, and I loved it. I loved working with students. I absolutely adored my time. So that was kind of the one that I had my hopes on, but they had already told me, like, we're not going to hire you. We don't hire Auburn undergraduate students, so sorry, but no. But they gave me an interview. So I thought that was very strange. And I thought, I have nothing to lose. So I went in and I poured my heart out in all of my interviews, really, because I was just desperate for someone to pay for my grad school. 2 days later, I got a phone call from the Camp War Eagle office offering me the position of their orientation graduate assistant. I literally cried. I was like, are you kidding me? Just another way that the Lord showed me that this is where he wanted me. Okay, fast forward like 2 months and I win Miss Alabama, and I'm like, what are you doing with my life? My biggest advice to you that I want you to leave here with today is that comparison is the thief of joy. When we start comparing our hair and our noses and our lips and our wrinkles and our curves, we're only letting society get the best of us, and we're only selling our joy. The diet industry brings in $315 billion a year. And we're like, oh, I don't know where they get that money from. Us. They get that money from us. We're selling them our identities. We're letting them steal our joy by allowing them to tell us it's a good idea to compare ourselves to other people. And the second thing that I want to leave you guys with is that you are about to enter a very, very impressionable and transitional phase in your life. Raise your hand if you're a graduating senior. Yeah. And the others of you, you will all graduate in the next few years. This is an incredible time in your life. But this is also a time in your life where you can struggle more than any other time. Take it with you that the Lord's plan, you have to succumb to that. Don't try to fight it. Don't think, this is literally my life plan. What am I, 23 now? I'm like, all right, I'll be done with grad school at 25. I'll do Teach for America for 2 years. I'll be done at 27. I'll do my PhD for 3 years. I'll be 30. I'll get married. I'll have a child. 10 months later, I'll have another child. And that's the way that my life's going to go. Literally, I'm such a planner. But I'm learning each and every day that maybe I'm not ever supposed to be a reporter on TV like I thought I would. I really hated it. Maybe that's not where I'm led. You have to fall down to his mercy and trust that he will lead your life in the right direction and lead you where you're supposed to be. You guys, when I was crowned Miss Alabama, people ask me, like, how did you feel? And I tell them, I'm like, I thought I was going to throw up on the stage. Because in my mind, I thought, this is ruining my plan. I'm not supposed to be Miss Alabama for a year. I'm not supposed to move to Birmingham for a year. I'm supposed to live in Auburn and go to grad school. Do you know what a blessing this year has been for me? I only have a month left. And looking back, I now can't imagine my life having never won Miss Alabama. Because this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is the weight I'm supposed to be. This is as happy as I'm supposed to be. Everything happens the way it is supposed to happen, okay? You have to trust in that. Okay, I've talked your ears off for 1,000 minutes. Do you guys have any questions?
How does your tiara stay on?
Pantyhose.
Oh.
Y'all, I say that that's the question I get all the time. And they'll say, I say pantyhose, and the boys are like, ew, pantyhose. Like, I can't.
Do you wear it like everywhere?
No.
Thank you for wearing it here.
Well, thank you. I only have a month left, so literally I'm like, I'm still the queen. I'm gonna wear it. I wish I could wear it everywhere. No, you'll often catch me in Target with no makeup on and definitely not crown.
Hey, y'all, thanks. Just thank Meg for being here.